Did this happen? Arrived, but I am now recording the meeting.
Okay.
And there's still people arriving. Donna Jones just arrived. And I know that Julia had arrived an hour ago, but she's coming back.
Okay. Hey, Ethan. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Greg.
Hey. Hey, get that up. I'll bring up the agenda.
Hi, Donna. How are you?
Hey, Donna.
Fine, how's everybody?
Fine, Donna.
That's
What's
good.
up? What's up? Hear the kitty cat.
Yeah, she has a lot to say.
Yep.
She's going to make it very difficult to take notes.
I hear. I hear. Okay.
12.
So we're going to,
Yeah, I
Wait.
think it's okay to start. Julia just emailed me saying she'll be there shortly, but I don't think we have to wait.
okay,
Up to you.
We're calling the meeting to order at 7:32. Does that sound good to everybody?
sounds good to me.
Super duper.
Okay. Okay,
And by the
ladies.
way, Dory, I have found myself saying super duper all the time now. So
Well, there's worse things that I say that you could have picked up on.
no, I love it. It's so cute.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We will call the meeting to order, and we will start by sharing the agenda for today. And we welcome each individual that's concerned about our parks and wants to have nice, wonderful, welcoming parks. So the first, well, because we're on Zoom, there's rules about Zoom and showing respect and being mindful of the time. But first order is to look at the agenda and approve the agenda. I believe that is showing on your screen now. Can anyone see that? Thumbs up?
Yeah, Greg, we're
Okay.
seeing the Zoom page. Not
Okay, yeah. So you can see the agenda, then I'm gonna come down to it. Okay, so our agenda for tonight is call to order, approval of the agenda. Then we will allow time for public comments on non-agenda items, announcements, given 1 minute for that. Remarks from Recreation and Park staff, and then Park Advisory Board presentation. Then we will look at the Recreation Park Committee mission and goals and try to get the final draft of that. We'll take a stab at our minutes from last month. And then a round robin discussion on any UNNC parks, recreation center, green space, anything else, and then we will adjourn. As you can see, we have a very tight agenda. We're attempting to get all this done in 1 hour. So are there any edits or corrections to the agenda?
I
None?
move that we approve it.
I second it. Okay, and everyone that's here for the committees, if you are present, then you have a vote, right? Those are the rules for committees. If you're here, you have a vote. So let me stop sharing so that let's do a voice vote. All in favor of approving the agenda as presented by voice vote?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any opposed? No one's opposed. Okay. So a few administrative things. My apologies for sending out historical emails with 6:30 time frames and people who showed up early. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's really sorry about that. All right. Okay. So next agenda is approved. So moving on. Public comments on any non-agenda items, any announcements that anyone would like to share? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, no public comments, okay?
Actually, I do.
There's
I'm
someone
trying to
from-
find the raised hand. It's been a while. Sorry, guys.
Okay, okay.
For those that want to know, Laura and I were talking about where some of us landed earlier. I am a field deputy with Councilmember Krikorian in CD2.
Sweet.
North Hollywood, Studio City, parts of Van Nuys, Valley Glen, Valley Village. So I'm still good, and believe it or not, my email address at the city is the same. Just don't email me for any CD10 stuff.
Jeff,
Congratulations on landing on your feet.
we're so
Thank
happy
you
for
very
you,
much.
Jeff. They're
Yeah,
lucky, they're
So
fortunate to
Jeff,
What
have
I
you.
will,
can we email you, copy you still when we're writing to the city so people think we have a city person on our side? Probably not, right?
Probably not.
like I
That'd
said,
probably
it
be
probably would be,
unkosher.
No.
yeah, it
Would
would
be
probably be
unkosher.
cleaner if it were non-CD10 stuff. But
Yes,
what I will promise to do is make sure that I let at least UNNC know. I have been told that I've been asked to meet with whom I believe is going to be the future district director for MRT's team, Mark Ridley Thomas. And once that's happened, I will share at least that contact information with the neighborhood council so that you guys can start crossing that bridge to the new council member.
sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. We
I'm
appreciate
gonna
And
it.
put
I
that in the notes,
probably
though.
won't get to speak with you guys after this for a while,
Right,
but have a very wonderful Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, be safe, stay warm, Happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff. And I will see you around the neighborhood. It'll be on the weekend when I'm walking my dog.
all right. We're happy for you, Jeff. Okay, good. Any other public comments? Okay, next item on the agenda is correspondence remarks from Recreation Park staff management on state of local parks and future plans and goals. All right, so do we have anyone
Yeah.
making those public comments?
I didn't,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Sharon had told Donna and I that she could attend. So Donna, she's obviously not here, but maybe you could at least share with everyone what happened at the meeting you and I were at with her.
Well, a couple of things. She did send an update about parks. Parks are not closed anymore. They're usable. I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but people can be in the park. I don't think they're renting out spaces for parties and such. The rules that are supposed to be observed everywhere else are supposed to be observed, like masking and social distance from people you don't know are not part of your family and all the other things. But parks are not closed this time around. Made it very difficult for a lot of families not to be able to go to the park to use it. So at this point, that I did get the paperwork that Sharon sent out. Sharon brought up they're doing some work on looking at the cameras. Jeff knows about it as well. He probably knows a little more. I heard, and Ethan was there as well, that the cameras closest to South Sea's house need work or upgrading or starting from scratch. They are looking at them. The plan is to do something about it. I believe they're going to spend the money. Laura, you heard that too.
I did.
Get that done. So I was thrilled. The cameras closest to the restroom and that setup is functional. I don't know if there's work that needs to be done there, but they are looking at the entire setup. The police officers know more about it than they ever did. We also have some rangers, 2 rangers who oversee parks when there are issues happening. They were notified about our area. They did work with our senior lead, so we do have support for the Potter issues. I'm not sure about the other parks. I don't talk to anybody who works with those other parks in the 10th district, but I do know our SLO is aware of the issues, is working with us, is making sure there are support for just oversight of the areas on a regular basis. And so that's basically what I know about cameras and the idea that they are going to be taken care of. But they were able to get footage from the cameras that are they the newest, Jeff? The ones next to the bathroom?
Is he still here?
I think so.
Well, I do know that they were able to get some footage and were satisfied with what they did get at that point. But the others are a real issue. And the Isidore House,
When
they're
I hear
working.
Park and Rec say that they're willing to spend their money and are actively seeking pricing and invoicing for the cameras, let them do it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let
The
them do it.
Isidore House, the break-ins and such that have been happening there, she addressed that. So they're working, they're helping us, thank God.
Donna, thank you so much for that report. May I, just because I'm taking notes, I want to make sure I'm accurately taking down the information. This meeting was a meeting just between you, Laura, and Sharon, or was it a community meeting of some kind?
Not community, it was to address cameras specifically, the crimes
Oh,
that
you know what?
happened.
Sharon's actually trying to log in, by the way.
Okay, good.
Okay, then she could give us this whole thing over again.
Dorit,
Yes.
was the neighborhood prosecutor, Nicole Butler, Donna, myself, and a couple of other neighbors in the avenues.
Okay, so it was a private meeting, not a committee meeting of some kind or community
No,
meeting.
Correct.
no committee.
It was
Okay.
CD10 and the city attorney's office and concerned citizens of the avenue.
Citizens. Cool. So I say we let Sharon give the spiel again when she gets on, but this is definitely what Donna said is definitely going to also go in the notes.
Okay,
And it was
so-
West Adams Avenues that asked our support systems about what could be done about what had happened in the park, the crime, the shootings and all that. So that was a
Cool.
big issue to us.
Okay, sweet.
All right, so,
Hey, Gavin.
hi, Gavin. And I think Sharon was having trouble. I'm hoping she just got my email. She was looking for the meeting ID.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see her yet. Okay, so we could come back. Donna, anything else on that, or do you want to come back to her? Go ahead, Carlos. Carlos?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was on mute. I just wanted to go ahead and reach out to the committee as well, Donna as well, that I'm certainly available to assist any way I can with the cameras, as far as the requirements are and that sort of thing. I believe that, well, to just point, if they're willing to, definitely help us out and spend some money in that area. I guess, one of the questions would be the requirements for the cameras. That would also help determine what that cost would look like, right?
I say if they're going to pay for it, though, let's let them pay for it and worry about all that. Just my thought.
Right. And you're right. You're right. I guess I'm just thinking, in my head is if they're going to, pay for it, that do they have a list of requirements that, as
Hey,
far as
Carlos,
the
this is
concerned?
hey Carlos, this is Ethan, and I agree with what Carlos is saying. When Carlos is saying requirements, he's asking what kind of technical requirements does the neighborhood want? Do we want live feed? Do we want wireless? When you talk on for technical stuff, there's requirements so that someone just doesn't go and just buy any camera off the shelf that might not benefit the community.
Actually.
So I support what Carlos is saying. The community and this committee or West Adams Avenues will want to come up with a list of, hey, these are our expectations or our requirements, so that the proper cameras are purchased and it's not money wasted.
I totally agree that,
Carlos, was that what you actually had?
Carlos,
Sorry.
you should reach out to Sharon and I will give you her information, because IT from the city, we asked for this. We want the cameras updated. We have a right to put some input in, and we did with the initial group of cameras. And that was a long time ago.
Okay.
So I'd love, if you're interested, I'm gonna make sure I give you Sharon's contact. Tell her that you're from the Avenues, you're also from Neighborhood Council, and wanted to see who you could talk to see what their thoughts are.
Yeah.
Because what we ask for and what they come up with, we might meet someplace in the middle. Thanks.
And
Carlos,
just-
just want to make sure, was that what you had in mind and what you were asking?
Absolutely. Ethan's
Okay.
is spot on with that, because, obviously, if there's a budget of $100 or $1 million, right? That's something that's unbeknownst to us. But I think what would help is that we help guide them with these, requirements or expectations, right? So that way, I'm looking at it from a, kind of a, fancy word, a compliance piece to say, hey, look, to Ethan's point, live feed, access, things like that. Who's going to get access to it? That kind of thing. That helps to, point them in a direction of this is what we need, and this is how we need it. That sort of thing. I think that would help out a great deal. And we shoot for the moon. Give them that.
So I agree. They don't know what you want until you tell them. As far as this committee tonight, though, we can't really make a motion or let's say this, is that something the Avenues is going to take care of? Asking the park and telling Sharon and telling Rec and Parks what is wanted? Or is that something that you guys want this committee to do? And if we want this committee to do it, we have to put it on next month's agenda.
I think the Avenues are gonna take this on. It's an issue that impacts us directly for Benny H. Potter. All the other parks, no.
Okay, so in other words, you're telling me that you don't need this to be on next month's agenda?
Right.
Okay,
Not, at least not for that park.
Right.
If this is
So-
an issue for all parks, then yes, it should be, I would think.
I'm thinking specifically what Don is focused on, right, is our park here.
Right.
Right, because obviously there's a system in place. It's semi-quasi, as I understand it, working, right? But that was put in some time ago, and it's 2020 going into 2021 now. There's a lot more flexibility, a lot more options. There's some things that could really benefit, if not the park, the community, as well as law enforcement or whoever, right, really wants to go in
And
ahead.
by the way, Sharon's arriving.
hello, Sharon.
I'm not
Hi, how are you?
There she is. Hi,
Uh,
Sharon.
we're-
Sorry
Greetings.
for
We're
the
doing
error.
wonderful. Would you like to give us just putting on the spot here, would you like to give us an update on the parks that you are overseeing, which would be the ones in our footprint, I mean?
Yeah, so in your area, it is South Sea House with Benny Potter Park. And I was
And
at
the
a
two park
meeting,
parks.
Benny Potter Park and South Sea House.
And don't you also do the two pocket parks, Washington Irving and West Adams Heights?
No, those are not mine.
Okay, my bad.
Okay, try, that's okay. But we met not too long ago with Donna Jones and some other LAPD officers, and we talked about the recent incident that happened over there, and we got people to come out and look at the cameras over there, and the cameras look really good at Benny Potter. The ones that do not work good are the ones at the Isadora House, which like also covers the South Sea House. So we have our IT people looking into the cost they would charge to reinstall the newer cameras that are at like Benny Potter at the South Sea House in Isadora. And when they get that, I will give that to Donna and you guys so you could see the cost it would cost us to, repair them or install new ones. And we're going to have to install new ones. We're also getting an alarm re-put back into the Isadora House because that one, somebody broke it in and tore off the alarm on the walls and stuff. And we had our rangers go over with LAPD and our IT people to see the area. From what I understand with LAPD and us, the footing of the photos that came from Benny Potter, those are very good coverage. It's just the part they needed. The cameras do not reach to that area. So if we get cameras put in by Isadora House, I think it would cover that area. And we're hoping to get just quotes on that so I could submit them to you guys so you could see what the cost is. Right now, both of the Isadora and South Sea House, Isadora is not open at all. South Sea House is closed due to COVID. Benny Potter is open just on people coming in on their own. Playgrounds just reopened again after closing for like 2 days, but it's at people's own discretion. And there are some signs up that they need to wear PPEs because all of the parks in the area are closed because of COVID right now. And that happened December the 7th. And that's through the mayor's office and the CDC. And we're just waiting on what's going to happen if we are going to reopen. The only things that are open right now are alternative learning centers, and those are certain facilities that are taking kids for Zoom all day because schools are not in. And that's where I'm at right now. Hello.
Great.
I'm an idiot, sorry. Sharon, Lincoln Parks is planning on paying for the new cameras at Isadora House, right? And the alarm?
They are gonna probably pay for the alarm, but not the cameras because they don't even, we've been trying to find out even a schematic for the cameras there. And it seems like the cameras that are existing there, they're like, they don't even know like who put them in. And even though they're IT, they keep saying the people that took care of Benny Potter was a contract person and theirs run very good compared to these ones that were at the Isadora House, which probably hasn't, from what I can see, probably haven't been working for over 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer.
Laura, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel that, and Jeff may know this, I feel that UNNC had installed them many years ago.
Yeah, Michelle Lazzarini, she was in charge of that.
Yeah.
But like our whole thing is like, did we not know in these last how many years that these cameras weren't working?
Oh well, I this I wouldn't know.
I don't know. I mean, I just got here, so I'm just like trying
Yeah.
to figure out why that was turned out the way they did. But yet you have such good camera footage at Benny Potter, and it just doesn't, for me, it doesn't, I don't understand.
Right. But, Jeff, I don't know if you can jump in on this, but I feel like they were working and I don't think we would have had a lot of information at the board because one of our board members was also the director of the park. So I think he wore 2 hats, and I think probably worked directly with executive committee and they just got it done. So I don't know when it would have stopped.
There was initially pushback by the city of LA. There was fear of somehow setting up cameras with a park system through the city there could be some sort of breach of security. So it took a while to get through that hump and to get the city on board to even do it. I believe Ed Trusper with the safety committee had initiated with Michelle Latarini, and then eventually through a push through, they were able to get them installed. In fact, there was a murder there, and they did use the camera footage to commit and to indict, and somebody went to jail.
So Sharon,
Carlos, excuse
is
me, Carlos
oh,
has his
sorry.
hand up. Carlos has his hand up.
Okay, no, I was just gonna just reach out to Sharon that I'm certainly available to work with the IT group because I've got some IT background myself, and I'd certainly love to work with those guys on trying to get that place get those things reset up properly the way they really should.
I'm just asking this because I'm not into the IT stuff, but
Right.
why can't, I think it might work easier, and that's why I'd rather get a quote from these private contractors to see how much it would cost to add just additional cameras to what is existing there, instead of us going a brand new system just for the Isadora house.
Well, and that's definitely something to look into. But I guess the way I was looking at it was just like anything else, right? Our phones, television, things like that. I'm sure they work well now, but that was based on the requirements from before, and there may be a new set of requirements that the neighborhood has. So, and this would, if there's a time to go in and do it instead of just replacing some of the cameras, because some of the cameras don't work with what they refer to as DVRs or digital video recording units. They don't match up because they're too new, and the older systems are older. The cable, that sort of thing. So it's a lot of technical pieces that we may run into. So what we were mentioning earlier is that if we can speak with the IT group to kind of run into, I guess, a list of requirements of what we're trying to accomplish, right? That would help, whether it's them or whether it's an outside contractor, to come in and say, okay, then I know exactly what you're asking for. This is what you can accomplish. This is what you can't accomplish.
Yeah, you know what? I could probably try and get them to come to one of your meetings to do that, because I just can't, I don't understand, like, was the Isadora house ever open? And if it was, why were the cameras like in bad shape? I don't know. I'm just saying, we went down there with the IT people, and our IT people were like, Sharon, these things don't work. And I'm like, well, who's operating them? And they couldn't even tell me that.
And Dorit's hand is up.
Sharon, I appreciate you being here on this meeting, especially considering, it's well past your work hours. I know that you're saying that what I'm understanding is you can't fix the cameras that are there because those were not a Rec and Parks cameras to begin with.
Correct.
But you did say something about putting in new cameras instead of.
I want to get a quote from the private contractor that is paying for, that takes care of the ones at Benny Potter, because I think it might be easier just to hook onto that and get the footage that you want in certain areas than it would be to install a brand new system.
Okay,
at
great.
like the storehouse. You know what I mean? That just seems a little bit easier. So I'd rather approach that way. And so I'm having somebody look into that, because if I'm going the IT way, it's like literally almost impossible. They're like going, you can't do this, and I'm like, why? And they're like, because those are not something that is around today. Like, the technology's old and all this. And I'm like, well, what is that? Because I don't understand. I kept telling them I don't understand.
I get that. I totally don't understand anything I'm talking about with this stuff either. I just want to get to try to nail down who's going to be responsible for paying for them. So
well,
if you
I asked them, and then they said that they do not have the funds to do this. And I said, well, who put in the originals? And then they weren't even sure who did that,
Okay, that was that was a long time ago, and it may have been us. So bottom line is, what you're telling us right now is Rec and Parks will not pay for new cameras at Isadora House?
Correct. Correct. But that's why I think if I could get a quote see how much it costs to add on to cameras that are on the contract. I don't know. I don't want to promise you guys anything, but I think it might be easier for us to go that route than
What-
doing a whole brand new.
What
Let me-
contract? Go ahead,
So
Doreen.
Sharon,
Oh,
if you were able to get that contractor to do that, to give you a quote, would Rec and Parks be able to pick up that cost of
All I
having
can
the
do
other
is, all I can
cameras?
do is that. All I can do is
Okay.
that.
Thank
But I
you.
think that's the other route to go to try and get stuff actually going.
You know what you're doing. We'd love to hear. We're really looking forward to hearing what the answer is.
And I do believe they are gonna fix the alarm system. That for sure, I think is gonna happen, okay? And so like, they're just right now trying to get a schematic of even that place, and like, we don't even have a schematic of the building at Isidore.
That's a shame.
Agree.
Yeah, really.
Greg,
Okay,
are
Liz.
you calling on yourself?
Yes,
Yes,
because I
Greg's turn.
can't raise my hand on.
That's okay. I know you and I, all we can do is
Yes.
raise our hands.
Okay, so
It's great.
my question is there a contract in place and who's the contract with? Does anybody know that? Have that information? And how
There
long
is
is
a
that contract?
in place right now at Benny Potter, and they're the ones running the cameras there.
Okay, and how long is that contract good for?
That I don't know, but I think those things just got put in less than 4 or 5 years ago, from my understanding.
That's a pretty long contract.
Dorit,
Jeff-
if you want to call on me, I can enlighten everybody.
Go, Jeff, go.
The cameras in the annex for the Isidore House went in when Stevie and I were transitioning. That's when Gavin and I were working to get them installed. The cameras were put into place at the bathroom in the main Benny Potter Park by the same provider, not contractor, because we never had a contractor in place. He was not being paid to clean the cameras, maintain the system, or anything like that. He only came in and installed the 4 cameras on the physical building of the bathroom and hooked them up to the DVR in the janitor's closet. I can go back through my emails to see if I can find who that was and share it with this committee so that you have that information, Sharon.
Do you remember what
Yeah,
years
that's-
those were, Jeff?
Oof.
Yeah, do you see my gray hair?
No, because you got a hat on, and gray hair
I-
means nothing. Do you remember what
I
years
don't-
those were?
I
So we
don't
could,
know
like,
what
have an
year.
idea.
I was still president. It was the end of my presidency, and it was after the Benny Potter Park opened up after being ADA. It came to UNNC as a request for us to provide cameras in the main park, like what was done with the cameras in the annex at the Isidore House.
But there's no
That's
way for
why
us to know
this-
what year it was?
No, but that's why this system is so much better than one that was in the annex, because it happened at least within the last 5 years. These are very technical, capable cameras, and they are just going into a DVR.
Yeah, and then
I'm
they
assuming-
told us also that there were some cameras put on this pole right behind the sign that says Benny Potter, but those are not, they're not working. They're like, I don't know, fake or something like that. Like they were
That's-
there a long time.
Sharon, no, those are the ones
Yeah.
that were originally installed probably
Okay.
10 years ago, at least 10
Oh,
years
okay.
ago. And that's why,
Okay.
yeah, they are definitely old generation cameras. There was no such thing as 820 DPI back then. And now we're
Mhm.
using HD, which are the ones that are on the bathrooms at Benny Potter.
Mhm.
But I do know that the same person who installed the older 10 years ago cameras in the annex behind the Benny Potter sign for the Isidore House is the same installer who put the cameras in for the bathroom. I can go back through my history of emails and see if I can get that contact information. I want to say he starts with a B. His name was Brian or something or other, and I don't recall his company's name, but I have all the exchanges in the emails, hopefully, that I can share contact information with this committee for you to reach out and figure out at least getting an RFP or a proposal for redoing cameras or coming up with a different solution for doing cameras that cover the annex and the Isidore House.
That would be great.
Point of order on the
I think
agenda.
that would be good too.
Point of order on the agenda. Do we wish to continue this discussion or do we want to go on to the next item?
I think that we have a lot of things to cover tonight. We might have to kick some things to the curb, but we definitely need to do our mission and goal thing tonight before we're finished. So,
Okay. So did we want to continue this conversation anymore or report from Sharon anymore?
I wouldn't
No,
mind
I'm fine.
hearing more from
I'd rather-
Sharon about not
By
necessarily
the
just the
way,
cameras and everything.
West Adams Avenues will be pursuing this because we may be trying to go out for money to get the cameras replaced at South Seas Isadore House. So we can maybe hold on to that part of it in the avenues and then bring it back to committee. So it
Okay.
doesn't take up so much time.
Okay, so the avenues will take this over right now.
Yes, sounds like.
Okay,
that's the
cool.
proposal.
Okay,
Laura's hand is up.
I'm trying to raise my hand.
Laura's hand is
We
up.
see it.
Yes.
So the main thing is if anyone's going to be asking UNNC for money, I would say the last time for the ask would be in March. Because, we're going to be coming near year end and I'm guessing neighborhood councils are going to get so much less money next year. So just keep that in mind.
I'm gonna speak with Carlos since he is our rep and he has expertise there. So we'll get back to you definitely before
Perfect.
then.
Right. I'm just giving you a sort of time frame. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sharon, is there anything else you want to add about the parks that you cover besides just the cameras and the alarms or anything else you want to tell us?
Well, I know that they've been asking when the South Sea House would reopen, but right now with what's going on, it is not going to be opening for a while.
Yeah.
So, and that's like with most of the parks in our area. The only ones that are open are the ones that are running alternative learning right now.
It's like the rest of our world these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharon, I really want to thank you for taking time to come to our meeting. Really, really, really do appreciate that. And hopefully we can get your counterparts for the other parks to come at meetings that are coming up. I might contact you later. Contact you in January to see if I can get their names and contact information. So thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, so next on the agenda is the Park Advisory Board. If you want to do a presentation on that, or if we wanted to table that so that we could look at the mission and vision statement.
Let's jump to mission and vision. Let's jump to mission and goals. And if we have time later, I'll just give a little 5-minute spiel about how wonderful park advisory boards are, okay?
Okie dokie.
If no one objects.
Okie dokie. Okay, so yes, was someone getting ready to say something?
I don't know if I'm allowed to speak or if this.
Yes, you are.
Go
Yes, you
ahead, Miss
are.
Julie.
Yes, speak, Miss
Hi.
Julie.
Hi,
Hi.
thanks for having me. I'm new to this world, so I don't totally know where is appropriate for me to be or share. I was able to look at the mission and vision, and I did draft something trying to kind of incorporate what I had seen and a sort of alternative, using a lot of the work that it looked like you guys had done and some brainstorming. So
Okay,
I with Laura in a Google Doc. I don't know how to share with all of you, but
okay.
there's an opportunity to talk through the mission and vision. I'd love to do that. That's a lot of the work I do personally, like strategic planning and mission and vision
Sweet.
stuff.
Did
So
you upload it to the shared drive?
I did, and I shared a doc with Laura. I'm not sure how it's appropriate to.
Okay, okay. So Laura, you're talking and you're muted.
I'm talking and I'm muted. I've got it open in Google Docs and I'm gonna try and download it. Can I do that, Julia?
Yeah, can you just put it in the shared folder? Because we have two.
That's what that's what I'm trying to do, but it's not a transfer. I have to download then upload as far as I know.
Okay. So,
Well,
Julie, so what we have is we sent a call out for everyone to look at the draft and then to submit their input on it. So currently we have 3 different versions of it. So, so I named one number 1, named number 2, and I guess yours would be number 3. So we can start with either one and just look at it.
well, you can't start with this one yet because I'm still moving
Yeah,
around.
Okay, we'll
Laura,
start
do you
with
want me
others.
to email it to you as a Word document?
No, I've got it now, but go ahead and start with a different one. Is all I'm saying. I've got to still upload it for Greg to look
Yes.
at.
That was understood. So,
Greg, can you put the other ones on camera?
yes, I can.
Thank
That's
you.
where I was at. Okay. Okay. So, what my thoughts are, it probably would be best for everyone to read each one individually before we start editing one. So, like in class, sometimes we would give our students some silent reading time. And so what I suggest is that I put the first one up and then we just give everyone maybe about 3 minutes to read through it.
Mhm.
Then I'll put the second one up. Then we give some time to read through it, and then we'll put Julie's up and give
Yeah,
people time to read
right.
through it. And that way you can.
And Greg, I did put Julia's in the share packet.
Okay. And okay, hold on, let me finish this one thought. Okay. And
Of course.
then if we do that, then you can see the different versions and then take things from it. That's my suggestion. So to read your thoughts, please.
I agree with that 100%. I just want to say this first one is mine, and what is in pink is the changes I made from the November draft. So if you're wondering why things are in pink, that's why.
I thought we were not going to disclose which one was.
Oh, I'm
which.
sorry. My
Oh, yeah,
bad.
not
Did not know that.
Greg, this is not like a blind tasting of a
It
bottle of
doesn't
wine.
matter. I just thought it was funny. Okay, so
Curious that the pink matches your hair.
yes, I thought that was.
Probably would have figured it
most
out.
Pink is
appropriate.
like my go-to color.
Okay, so with that in mind, I'm gonna just scroll through the first one. And then once I get to the bottom of the first one, if anybody wants me to go back up, I'll go back up and then I'll put the second one. So it may help if you have paper, pen, or type on your computer. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking and start scrolling. First one. And 15 more seconds. Okay, anyone else? Should I go over this one again? Anybody want to read anything again on this? Okay, if not, I will share the second one.
Ooh.
50 more seconds on this. Does anyone want me to review any sections of this? Okay, stopping sharing here. Okay, I'm going to find. Okay.
Do you see, it says mission and vision, parks, draft, Julia suggestions, just to, so definitely not secret.
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Are these on a shared drive we could all have access to?
Yeah, it's
Now-
on the Google Drive, yes.
That's what I was doing, Dorit. I was moving it to our shared drive.
I just have to figure out how the hell to open that.
Greg,
Okay.
I sent it to you in the chat as well. You can just open it and share your screen
Yeah,
if you want.
It's here.
Well,
Thank you.
or I can share it if you want.
No, I
because
haven't.
have
I
it
haven't.
now. You
I
want me to
haven't.
do that, Greg?
No, I haven't. I just
Okay.
need to move
I'd
to.
love to be able to get download a copy of number 2, but I can't
Okay.
figure out how to do that.
I'll email it. I will email it to you. Okay. So,
Where the hell is this?
can anyone see that? Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you made an organized thing.
Yeah.
Let's just read
We're
it.
reading.
We'll
We're
talk
reading.
later.
We're reading. We're
Okay.
reading.
I'm being quiet.
We're reading.
Bless you.
Excuse me. at the end? Okay, so I'll pull it so we can see. All right, any others? Okay, so we're good with that? Anyone need any more reading time on this one? And the room was filled with silence. Anyone need any more reading time?
Not on this one.
Okay. Okay, so having said that, which one would you like for me to bring up or discussion? Yes, Story.
I really like number 2 a great deal, but there's a couple of things that still need to be tweaked, like community gardens wasn't on that one. We have 2 historical houses, not just one historical house. And when it says hire an assistant director, we need to specify that we're talking about assistant director at the South Seas House, because we serve more than just one park, you know, and rec center. So we need to like spell that out. I'd like to add those, and I think number 2 is awesome. Number 3 is really cool, but it's more like an action plan, like for, say, like for this next year or the year after. I'm a little uncomfortable just listing some of the like cultural things we want to do, because there's only 2 listed where we don't know what tomorrow will bring or the next year will bring. We might want to do more cultural things once more people come into the community or people start using the parks again, of things that we want to do in the future. So I'd like to be able to expand on those, maybe like say action plans. Number 3 would make a great action plan if we want to do yearly action plan type of things.
Right.
Yeah, I think the vision for me, I tried to create something that looked a little more like a strategic plan. And I did that because the document that I read, I didn't read goals that were measurable. So when I read something like advocate or communicate, like I don't know how you know if you've met the goal. And I don't know what the community then can expect from something like that. So if that's the format that you're comfortable with working in, I think it's okay. I guess what I'm advocating for is some more specificity in what our actual goals are and how we would measure their success and what our timeline is. So that's really what I was trying to do there.
Right.
I do think it's awesome, like say, but I'd love to have that like as yearly updates to, or bi-yearly, you know, twice a year updates to what our vision and goals are. Greg's hand is raised, but he doesn't have to raise it. He's a moderator.
Well, I mean, I figured someone else should recognize to raise my hand. Okay, so Julie, I agree that our goals, they have to be quantifiable and qualifiable, and the chart that you have allows us to do that. And then, you know, like also when we would do strategic planning, you know, we would have the initial document with the verbiage, and then we got down into timelines and then quantifiable things, which your document allows us to see, like how many events and the garden. So I think that both of those documents will be extremely useful to us, and we need both of those type documents. And Dorit, to your statement too, on the second document, what you mentioned some things, but it is a shared document, so we all have access to edit it. But can you tell me what I could put it up again, and then so we could try editing it from that.
Yes, if you could put, sorry, coffee.
Yeah, I could do that.
If you put it up again, that'd be great.
Okay. So can you see that? It says I'm sharing screen. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Where should I go?
Um,
Vision.
okay,
park-
sorry. Under goals, serve as an advocate for our current 4 parks and 1 historical building. We have 2 historical buildings because Isadora House is considered an historical building.
Correct.
Or
Yes, sorry,
are 2?
no. 4 current parks because we do have 4 current parks.
The number 4?
The
Or
number 4.
Yeah.
okay, so instead of this 4, change to a number.
No, no, no.
4, 4.
Our
Right.
current 4 parks,
It's,
it's already there. I'm
it's
sorry.
already there, Greg.
Oh, okay, okay. Go
Do you
ahead.
really need the numbers? Like, why don't you just have current parks and buildings?
Because a couple of
Changes,
weeks,
it's
months,
applicable.
a couple of committees ago, it was decided we were going to list them.
Okay, so what?
And 2 historic buildings.
Okay, so and
So changed 1 into 2.
2. Okay.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
trying to find my notes. There's my notes.
Okay. So is that good? Donna, you
Yes,
good?
sir.
Donna,
Yes.
Ethan,
And
Carlos.
advocate for, can we put in there pocket parks? Because that was in our first meeting. Pocket parks was something people wanted us to advocate for. So after
Right.
this, maybe between pocket pop-up parks and distribution of parks, we could put in pocket parks. That's a lot of P's.
Like that?
Yes, with a little
Okay.
dot in front
Also-
of it thing.
Yeah.
Also, where it says assign an assistant director, it's a recreation coordinator is the job under the director in recreation and parks. So-
Assistant director here, Donna?
Yes, it should become recreation coordinator.
Okay. I have my hand up whenever someone wishes.
I can't
to
I
talk.
can't see that.
Yeah. And also, could we also on that one put it for South?
Wait a minute.
Sorry.
I can't secretary that fast.
And we just need to put the for South Seas House, not
Yeah, wait a minute.
because otherwise, who's
I
going to know
need-
what we're talking about?
Good people. My secretarial skills, my dictation skills are not that fast. Okay, I'm limited. So Don, so I just want to make sure I got that one right. So recreation coordinator, good
For South
correct.
Seas House.
for the South Seas House to this?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, sorry. For the okay.
thank
Good.
you.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Greg, I have my hand up.
Yeah, I can't see you. I'm looking at the
I know
screen.
that.
Good
I
talk,
know.
Laura.
That's why I'm announcing that I have my hand up.
Okay.
And it's a question here. So in addition to that, should we be at minimum investigating, can there be any programming at Leslie Shaw? I mean, whether
Actually-
there's a permanent recreation coordinator or director, I mean, it's too small of a park, but can we advocate to have somebody doing programming at our other parks? I mean, I don't even know what the right language would be. And my other comment is, which kind of goes back to Julia's, and I can't remember if we talked about it at this committee or a different one, but the community survey idea, we had talked about trying to figure out how to do a survey of our stakeholders to see how they use parks and
Is
what
this-
parks they use, which is a little different than what programs does the city want to see.
That was
Evan-
not discussed at this meeting.
I think it was, I agree. I think it was not discussed at this meeting, but there was at some point recently a discussion, because I know Jeff and I ended up then having a discussion about how the heck since we're being recorded, does one do such a community survey?
Point of order, point of
Yeah,
order.
let's get moving.
Point of order, one, we're at 8:31 and we said we would dismiss at
Yes, so
8:30.
on the mission and
two-
goals thing, I'm just saying, should we add, after assign a recreation coordinator for South Seas House, a bullet point about, at minimum, investigate the possibility of doing programming at, you're leaving where we were. After the bullet point, assign a recreation coordinator for the South Seas House under specific goals. I was saying maybe add a bullet point about investigating whether how to do programming at the other parks in our footprint.
How about increasing activities at Leslie Shaw Park?
Fine.
just
That's
put it-
fine too,
Can I put at the bottom of this?
wherever,
Sure.
wherever.
I think we might need to move things around a little bit, but that's good right now. I
That's
do
fine,
want to go
yes.
up a little bit more higher on this as well.
Okay, hold on.
Instead of putting investigate, put advocate for programs at
Whoa,
all
whoa.
parks.
Wait a minute, you just said increase activities at Leslie Shaw
Oh, yeah,
House. You changed it to that?
Increase programming at other three parks or at Leslie Shaw Park, one of the, however we want to do that.
How about at all parks? Does that work?
Perfect.
Actually, the two pocket parks aren't going to have programs, so increase programming at Leslie Shaw Park. That's good.
LYS.
I don't think that's how it's spelled, but I don't
Leslie.
spell.
Leslie Shaw, SHAW.
Hey, I have a bit of a hard stop. I just want to note, there's no mention of safety that I see in the current screen view that I have.
Right.
Given the
No, you're
incident,
right.
given the
wasn't-
incident, I don't know, is it above? I can't see the whole document.
No, there's
It's not here.
No,
There's
I
no-
think that's a real mistake, especially given what happened at Benny Potter. I live a block away from Benny Potter. The park is open. I'm not going back. I know a lot of folks who are scared after the Sunday slaughter in the middle of the day. I think it's a real missed opportunity for the committee not to double down on the importance of safety. You spent the majority of tonight's meeting talking about video cameras and at the park, so it's clearly a priority for you.
I think if we're going to add more stuff, though, we're going to have to accept the fact that this is not going to be done in a timely, that we're going to have to add another month to do this, which
Yeah.
I'm cool with. I'm very cool with.
Laura's
have to
becoming
accept-
cooler and cooler with delays on this because the other committees are farther behind than this one.
Yeah, Laura, I was in the middle of speaking, by the way. But I think that if we have to add some stuff to it, that's fine. I'd rather not rush trying to get this done and adding stuff and having it all sloppy. So how about we finish everything we're talking about now? We send out all three. We send out this plus what Julie did, and then we can come back. And if everyone does their homework, we can come back in January and maybe nail this thing out. How does that sound?
that sounds good to me. I'm just going to do this.
We want to finish this one? Add goals related to safety.
Yeah,
Cool. So Greg, could you send to everyone here and everyone who's ever come to one of our meetings? Because I noticed that Lizzie
Yes, I
isn't
can.
here and she's been pretty active. These
Yes.
3 new versions and we'll move from here.
yes, I can do that.
Cool. And we'll put it on the top of the agenda next month. How does that sound?
Okay, so are you
Beautiful.
saying that as we're concluding this exercise, are we going to still work on this? Because again, we set a time, so.
It's 8:30. So I'm saying, I vote that we send this out to everyone. Everyone promises to do their homework. And this is the only thing we do in January and the only thing we do until it's done.
Okay. All right, and so then okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this, okay? Yes? No?
Right.
Yes, cool.
Okay. All right, so I fully agree with Dorit, what you shared, and Julie's concern about safety and adding those items to it. And then the measurable parts of our goals, having that document also, that would be very good. And the fact that we're not rushing it is fine.
Right.
So,
I know, there's no need to rush. Rushing just makes a mess.
okay, yeah, and I think we've given everybody a good opportunity to share their thoughts also. So that's good. That's good.
As a part of the meeting in January, would you like me to continue based on this conversation, fleshing out those like more subdivided goals, or is that not?
Yes,
what we're-
yes, yes,
I'm happy
yes,
to do that if that. feels
yes,
like-
yes, yes.
So then we'll come back with everyone's version in January and just spend January working on the mission and goals.
Okay, so I will share the items 3 ways. Well, not two ways. One, I will email them to everyone, and then I will send the link to the shared drive so you can have the information there also.
Cool. And
For
can you
some-
send it to everybody who's ever been to this committee?
Everyone, and it's
Everybody
all
and their
little
mother.
friends, all
Yeah.
our little
Cool.
friends in the rec.
Okay, let me just ask Beverly, is it okay if I share your email with Greg? Because I don't think he has it.
Hey, Beverly.
Okay,
Bye,
Just-
Julie. Nice
Hi,
meeting
thank
you.
you. Nice to meet you. Bye. Thanks, time for.
Bye, guys.
okay. Well, anyway,
Okay.
hopefully it's okay with Beverly that I share her email so she can get this draft.
Quick
Okay.
note, Greg and everybody else for this one, use my personal email address and not my city email address.
Got you, Jeff.
mjeffcamp@gmail.com.
Jeff at Gmail.
Sharon, thank you for
Well,
sticking
that's
around
very
with
Okay,
this.
all right, thank you, everyone. So I think that's it. I'm gonna do my homework as soon as we get off and send things to everyone. And I like a good, efficient meeting and I'll go for it, okay? So we got one major item. Also, we didn't go over the minutes, so we can do that next.
January or February.
Okey doke. Everybody's good?
Yep.
Everyone
Thank
is
you.
lovely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys. Appreciate you. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hmm.